Okay, hello YouTube. What I want to do today, you can see this is a pretty beat up Mora clipper, high carbon. I'm going to convex sharpen it, freehand on the waterstones, and I'm going to replace the handle. This is for Dr. Dan. Actually, he was cutting down his yew tree the other day. Well, not cutting down the yew tree, trimming his yew tree and a bay tree. I showed him the sort of things that I do. This is I can completely reshape blades by hand and carve wood, carve handles. This is curly birch with a large bare top. He liked this and asked if I could do the same but using yew, and I'm just going to cap it off like this cap here with this bit of bay. I wouldn't normally use bay, but then this is the wood from his garden, so obviously that's a nice thing to have, a knife handle with the wood that's actually in your garden. This is the bit of yew that I've used on the Gransford Brooks belt axe now. So let's see if you can see this. That's the heartwood. As you can see that's the heartwood there. It's very sort of it's pretty contrasty because of the dark. Well, I don't know what you call these. It's these sort of things that come out that come as this. It's growth from the heartwood, I guess. As you can see, this is the white wood. As you can see a bit of the white there, and this sort of mottling colour. As you can see, that's that back part of the handle. You see, so that's what you've got the white. So what I'm going to do is drill a hole through the bottom and through the pith. Sorry. Then I'm going to try and catch this on the back of the knife, the white. So we'll probably miss this out. So it'll probably be more of a contrast than this because of the size of the handle. I like to stay in the heartwood. It's I think it looks better, and I haven't had any radial cracking with any of these knives. Well, that isn't heartwood. Let me show you a bit of heartwood. And that's spalted beech. That's the heartwood of spalted beech. I'm not sure if you can see that. I've got no radial cracking. Several other knives I've used. You can see heartwood again. Yew's a great wood for carving with the heartwood. It's known for carving with the heartwood. This is a bit of an unusual knife. This is like a burr. It's a growth that's going around. So there's a bit of the bark. There's the pith. Unfortunately, the apple's cracked on the top. I'm gonna do it a slightly different way. I used to melt my way through this wood, but I'm gonna use a saw today. And well, what I'm gonna probably do is like I've done with this knife here. That's a large burr cap, and that's a bit of antler that I've glued in. It's plenty strong enough. Again, heartwood of spalted beech. See, very unusual. A lot of spalted beech varies greatly. That's why I like it. But obviously today I'm going to do it with yew and a bay cap. So. Right, let's crack on. I'm going to probably there's another. This might be of interest to you. This is the Bill Moran. I've reshaped it so it's better at wood carving. Because I wanted to use it. I wanted to see what VG10 steel was like in wood. We'll experiment. And this is not a heartwood. This is just a piece of. I've caught the heartwood. This is apple. It's a nice little contrast, and this is what's called stag's horn sumac cap. It's grown in my garden. You've got to let it season for at least 3 months. I've melted my way through here. So it's not the prettiest thing, but then again, it's about as handmade a knife as you can get, hand sharpened, hand carved. So you can't expect for it to be perfect. And I've only sort of done half a dozen knives, so I'm still early stages of what I'm learning. But I just wanted to see if there was any interest in this type of thing, so I thought I'd do this Mora blades. Excellent. I mean, this is a Halterfors carbon blade that I've reshaped, and I can carve anything with this as long as I keep up the polish, keep it stroked up well so that it maintains the polish. Then I can carve any wood with this pretty much. So you know, you might think, well, why is it worth spending so much time on a cheap Mora? But the blade there's nothing wrong with the blade at all, so it is worth doing. Okay, right, let's crack on. Okay, right, first of all, things are working on it. Just take the edge right off. That actually helps me when I'm convexing anyway. I like a nice clean edge to go to. I'll probably take it down a bit more later, but what we're going to do is obviously smash the handle off, being as careful as we can not to do ourselves or our tools any damage. This is the Grandstrom Brooks belt axe, but this is a chisel grind, so it's actually quite good at doing this, rather much better than the normal double beveled axe would be. That's why I use it. Give him a little sod. There's our pin tang. Yeah, it's quite big. It's bigger than I expected. Right. It's a little bit of a sharpen. There's no damage to the tip. Yeah. Pretty tough thing. Oh, a little bit there, but I think there was already a bit there anyway. Right, so there's our pin tang. So now what we need to do is drill a hole down through the heartwood. Mils, not quite going to be enough. That's not a problem. What we'll do is put a little cut down, a saw mark, and hopefully fit that in. So right, it's very hard to try and get this straight. End of the day, because I'm using a big lump, what I tend to do is if I carve the handle now and then drilled the hole, it would be a lot more difficult for a start. But if it was slightly off centre, as soon as I glued that in with epoxy, the knife would be crooked, and there's, you know, I've got to bend it straight, which is not ideal. So what I prefer is to drill the hole, put it into a big piece of wood like this, and then carve it straight to the blade. I find that's easier. Deep's this have to be? That's nearly fit in there. A bit deeper. Right, so what we're going to have to do, which is this works out quite nice, so I'm just going to cut with the Leatherman, hopefully, which is in here. This one's a bit bent. I'll do it this way because we've got more room spare this way. Keep it in line with that there. Gosh, bugger. So it's quite awkward using trying to cut at an angle to get the camera. Right, we've gone down there now. See, it's tilted forward. Okay, managed to tilt it back. That's about right. You see, that's why our cap will go on. Now what we have to do, right, these are our pins. Need two, but we might as well make three in case we bugger one up. Right. Fixed our blade in how we want it. So we're going to cover this bit up here. So do this side first. This is oak, by the way. It's more, it adds a bit of strength, but it's just as much to displace the epoxy. So if we can get it right down to the bottom. Just make a real nice strong matrix of wooden epoxy, really. You've got a bigger hole on the other side, so this is why I've chosen the smallest bit. Still ain't got there yet. Chippy, this wood. Horrible. I reckon we're there now. Feels like the bottom. Right. I think we'll have to go from that end, really. This is a wedge. Okay, epoxy resin time. Horrible stuff that it is, it's bloody good for making knives. That's more than enough. Right, as per instructions, mix until it goes a whitey milky colour. You can see that. I should be able to put this in the knife, wait half an hour, and then it'll be hard enough for me to work on the handle without having any worries about the blade moving or anything. To tell you the truth, with these two oak pins in, I mean the knife's jammed in there anyway. It's quite a warm day, so it's not going to take long to go off. Right, let's stick it in there then. Sure it's... Oh, you fucking pillock. See what I mean? Horrible stuff. Just had to bang, there was a bit of shaving dust in the bottom of the hole that needed to come out. It's landed right on my blade as well. Still a bit on there, hopefully it'll slope off. Right, I don't know if we got enough in there actually. Soon find out. So that's fitted in. Now what we want is our glue to come up when we hammer the pins down. I'm not going to hammer them too hard. Hang on. So the pin was there. Oh, it's right on the pin as well. Oh yeah, it's coming out. There we go. We have enough. That's what I want to see. We can use that bit to fill up the hole we got there. Gravity will send that down. It's all over my hands. Bit more of a hammer. That's just, don't want to go any tighter than that. Yeah, it's coming up for again. Yeah, we are there pretty much now. I'm happy with that. Scrape away the excess. Wipe our stirrer off. Clean that out because it's sort of quite fairly useful thing. There, wait for half an hour. Okay, it's dry. I'm just going to put it into a rough shape now with the axe. See that? Yeah. This is yew, it's a very hard wood. Careful on the back, we'll just take the bark off. Go, quite a bit to go. There, so I'll you can see what sort of thing I do. I'm just going to give the axe a bit of a sharpen and then carry on down to a shape that I can hold, and then I'll cut the pins off and think about doing the top cap. Okay, we've chiseled away at that bulk size now. Now we're going to cut off those oak pins. See that? Just a bit gluey. There. Now you can see the blades slightly leant forward. So I don't take any more off the back. I'll carve the handle accordingly. Yeah, it's not too forward that I can't correct it. Actually, I have to a little bit too much off here probably. Just about get away with it because it's a bit long. It needs to go to there. So yeah, it'll be okay. Right, what I'm going to do now is, because it makes a mess. This is, you know, sort of 1.5 to 2 hour job to convex this. I should just get the rough shape without sharpening it, and then I'll go back to the handle, well, and then I'll go back to the cap to show you a bit of that. Right, a bit unusual, this stone. It's a Noana Chaucera, sorry, round stone. This is the 320. This is for doing big knives. I bought this stone. spray it all over the lens. Bought this lens because I want to have a go at convexing a samurai sword. I've been given some, it's just it's a major job and I haven't got time to do it at the moment, so I'm not even going to start it. Let's go here. So I'm just working back the corner. Just get it on the side, see if I can get rid of a lot of this crap that's on there, all this rust. Get in there. It's quite a long job to turn this into a convex, but it's worth it. I'm not going to do a full wood carving convex, which is the knives that I'll be carving this with, because this will only be used as a utility, but I'll just get a fatter, not so sharp convex, but tougher, and then it is fully stroke sharpening, and that's the great thing. That's why it's worth putting the effort in. It may seem like 2 hours on a blade, it might seem a long time, but then after that, you know, it's stroke sharpenable for 20, 30, 40 hours, depending on your technique, however many times before it starts getting a bit bulbous. It will start to lose sharpness, gain strength to the point where it's no good as a knife anymore. More like a blinking battening knife it would be. So you do need to take the sides back, but then for me to take the sides back is literally a 10-minute job, so 10 to 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. Anyway, you get the idea. It's coming up, starting to come up. And what I should do is just start knocking back from there, probably up to about there on each side. Fit a nice little convex under what's there, and just prepare it for sort of the 1000 grit stone, and then I go back to the handle, and this point needs attention here as well, so I should do that. Okay, finished on that stone. There we have it. Convex it over. I've just had to blunt it a bit because I've actually made it a bit sharp. That side, you're never going to get a perfect match. At the end of the day, this is, you know, proper hand sharpening. I'm not a machine, but you know, near enough. I'll get it to look better on the 1000 stone later on, but now I want to start carving the handle. Convex looks like this is what I call a full knockback. Hours and hours and hours, all by hand. Obviously I had to reprofile the blade. This is the Kerishudo knife kit, 12C27 Sandvik steel. Obviously this was a big fat, more not a wood carving shape at all, so I had to reprofile it on a diamond hone, and then put the convex in the full knockback. It does, you know, this is done over several sittings, but it really is a nice knife. It's still my favourite carving knife. And what I've got to do here, I don't know if you can see, the blade is off that way, so that means that I'm going to have to take it more down here than I will up here. So, carving straight, if you see, and its length slightly forward, so that means I take a bit more of this part. Trust me, you can, because you come at it very slowly when you're carving with a knife, you can straighten it, carve the handle straight to the knife, straight to the blade. It's not as hard as you'd think. In fact, I find it so much more easier than trying to carve the handle and then drill a hole straight and glue it in straight. I find that near on impossible, whereas this I find quite easy really. It's not because I just take my time. Recognise this blade, anyone? It's a Leatherman Charge S30V blade. Thought I'd put something decent in there. I'd had the Leatherman for years. It was coming to it's getting rather loose and coming to the end of its life, so I thought I'd recycle the blade. As you can see, it's quite useful for things like this. Gives me a lot of control. Huge handle. See how open my grip is, how much power I've got. This stops me getting cramps. I suffer from cramps. Bigger handles stop that. It's strange that the ergonomics of knife handles, for me, knowing what I know now, having used wood carving knives like this, I think we've gone in the wrong direction. We've gone too small, personally. If you look at old handles and things like brooms and, you know, rakes, anything like that, scythes, anything of old days, they were always bigger, always larger. We've gone the other way, we've gone smaller. Yeah, better cleaned up. Too close to the back. You can see our pins. A bit of a gap there, but that's full up with epoxy, so it's not too bad. Right, let's think about our cap. How we're going to do it. Oh, excuse me. A bit of bay. Oh, I'm going to have to do that again. Ow, fragrant smell. God, you pig. A little bit coarse, this saw, for this type of thing, really. It's a bit blunt. I've had it for years, this silky. So you can see it's snapped off. I need a new one, a replacement blade. Money's tight at the moment. So this has to carry on. That's ideal. You can see how flat it is. This bit doesn't matter because we're going to go in closer than that. And cut a little bit more. There. Right there. There we have it. Now you want to find a little slither to go in there and lock that in. All glue in. Okay. Get to the epoxy bit. This disc is a bit thick. It's covering a bit too much of the knife, but I will carve that away. So before I finish the sharpening, so it's not too bad. We want to go. This is the little pin that I've this is only literally a cap, it's not a stress bearing sort of thing really. It's going to be a lot thinner than this by the time I've carved it down and sandpapered it. I know that looks rough. I think it might be the wrong way around. There. See it's covering the foss, but I'm gonna carve it away sort of so it's just, it'll only be a little slither, but it's just easier for me to do it. I can't work with slithers by hand. Over time I'll probably do this a completely different way, but you know, at the moment this is the way I do it. It's not going to be an Allen wood knife, is it? There. See, there's so much epoxy there that isn't going anywhere, so I'm just going to leave it upright. We'll leave that for an hour, have a cup of tea, and get down to some carving. Okay, there we have it. Glued it on. Not quite an hour yet. Just snipped off that bit. Started on there, but I'm just going to do the handle. Start doing a bit of carving now. I won't bore you with the carving. I'll show you it in a couple of stages before it gets ready. I may show you a bit at the end when I do this. So that's how you see it. Don't look nothing at the moment. I'm going to dome this or make it thinner so the more of the blade. I've lost too much of the blade at the moment, but you know, we'll probably go down to about there. Take all this out. Yeah, so that's it so far. Okay, back again. Right, I've carved the handle now. Gone over it with sandpaper. It's smooth. As you can see, a little bit of a fault there. That needs finishing at the bottom, but it's fairly ergonomic. Bit bigger handle, which I would prefer. I don't think anyone would find it too big. Now we need to do is finish off our sharpening. I've got to get a bit of get this epoxy off, and then I'll go to the Kingstone. It's a Kingstone 1200, that is. pitted here. I can't really get these out without going here for hours. But I hope you can see, obviously you can see quite a bit of difference between what I started with and what I have now. Right. This is the new side. Pretty much in fairly new stone this. Right, not just on the sides first. Get rid of this writing. Give the sides a polish. I like kingstones. They're very slow cutting, but I like them. They've got a lot of feel to them. I've got a Nawana Chaucera workstone. This one here, this is a 1000, 3000 combination, but I like the 3000 side, but I'm not so keen on the 1000 side. I much prefer this kingstone, personally. As a general rule of thumb, when coming off this stone, you should be able to cut off this paper, clean cut off this paper. That's standard, which I go by. And obviously then you've got your polishing stone, which I'll use a 6000 kingstone again. And then after that, I use stroke to get the real edge on it. Yeah, we're getting our edge now. So look at these sides to see what we're like symmetry wise. Right, yeah, we've got a chink there. Right, that's got to come out then. Right off the edge now, I'm on the side. It's not bad. Yeah, it's pretty central. I'm happy with that. Like I say, it's hand sharpened. You can't compete with a man on a machine. Not for symmetry anyway. Sharpness, now that's a different question, different matter. Again, I'm always varying the angle. In some ways this is a very natural way to sharpen, because one of the faults of manual sharpening or freehand sharpening is that you have a natural tendency to convex. That's why it's so hard to sharpen a V bevel. This, you actually exploit that perceived weakness and turn it into a strength, really. I vary my angles all the time, but I can do no other than convex, really. We're there now. I would say not got about the whole blade, as long as we, yeah, you see what I mean, just off the stones. I haven't even finished the edge or bare stroked it or nothing, so but that's where I want to be. I sharpen. It's falling apart. Right. Well, onto the 6,000 stone. Right, so let's get a slurry up. Come on, that crap on there. That'll do. Just polishing the sides now, really. I don't use this stone to get edge alignment. Sometimes I actually end up blunting the knife slightly, because all I'm doing is trying to get the sides into a high state of polish. Coming. Not enough of the slurry there. It may seem like, an hour and a half, 2 hours. This is probably about an hour and a half on this knife by the time it's on the blade. I don't think that's a ridiculous amount of time, but then you've only got to do this once. And the benefits obviously are that you don't get edge row. If you do it right, you should never get edge row, unless you really abuse the knife, and you certainly won't get the edge falling off like you do on a scandi grind. I've had a lot of that when I was carving with scandi knives. Admittedly, they're only cheap scandi knives, things like the Mora 120, but they're laminated steel, and I use pukus and stuff, and I just get loads of edge row. More triflex. I mean, scandi knives do come in eventually, but they're much more susceptible to the edge rolling, and when the edge rolls, you're looking at half an hour to get them. So in some ways you do this once and you haven't got to do it. You can stroke sharpen it for a long time after, you won't get edge row. And and then when you do, the sides do go bulbous, it's 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, that's ready for the hang on, what's that there? Oh, that's ready for the stroke. Right, so I'm not going to stroke that now, I'm going to go onto the handle. I'm not going to bore you with the details, see the state of it it's got into. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use like sandpaper sticks, Abranet, that's a 120 grit. I'll just stick it onto these hook and eye. 180 grit emery paper, and I use this 800 stick-on oh god, what is it, aluminum oxide I think it is, if I remember rightly. I may be wrong, but I'll tell you what it is. It's the same as what's in here. Yeah, aluminum oxide. So yeah, those are what I'll be using, and I'll come back when I'm ready to seal the handle. Okay, back again. Right, it's a really good sand. Here we go. A lot better. There's a slight little bit down here. I'm not gonna, because I know that will bloody run and I'll end up adjusting the shape of the. But apart from that, I would have sealed. I should have sealed this, because this blinking bay has absorbed some of that waterstone dirt. Got a little rough bit there as well, but I'm not too sure whether or not that is the cut mark, so I'm not going to go too mad on it. It's just 320 grit that I'm using at the moment. I think that's going to have to do. Spent long enough on it. Right, I'm going to use a shellac sealer. I've tried lots of other things, oils and stuff like that, and I find this stuff's good. Let's get a rag. Find one. I like yew. I love beautiful wood. A bit disappointed in that. But still, it looks okay. Could have been doing a bit whiter. Don't see how that's dirty. It looks a bit dirty, but I don't think it is. What I should have done was seal it with this shellac, let that dry, and then done the waterstone, and then rubbed the shellac off. You know, you ruin your whatever paper you use, and done it again. But there you go, you live and learn. There. Hope you agree. It's rather nice looking knife. Fairly ergonomic. I can't pick it up at the moment. Okay, back again. Nearly forgot. Some wax, black bison wax. It's the second part of the sealing ingredient. Where's that gone? It's a little bit slippery when you first shine this up, but it soon gives you a bit of grip, soon changes. This is what was recommended by Axminster Tools for sealing sort of staircases and all that sort of. You can imagine how many dirty handprints go up a staircase. It is a good sealer. I've tried oils and stuff and I'm not impressed with any of them. Linseed, well, linseed sucks in loads of dirt. So at the moment, until I find anything better, so you can feel that hole, there's a little mistake there, see that I made. Right. I'll wait for that to dry and then we'll stroke it. Summarise sort of the knives that I've used. Use that one. This comes in very handy, a little short stubby knife for going up round the top, shaping this top cap, the bay cap. I've used these quite quirky things here. I find these are helpful. They're my unique grind really. Well, it's not a unique grind. I know Nick Westerman Crookspoon uses this grind. It's convex into hollow ground, but I've got like a right and a left. What this is for? It's for a really tight internal radii. So if when you're going up, you use this knife because the bevel's on the bottom, so it turns in and out. And when you're going down the ramp, you'd use this one. I find this quite helpful when things get chippy. The heartwood is a fairly chippy wood. Get these really sharp, and then you can get in. Where is it? Oh, you can hardly see it now. Yeah, it's there. I had a bit of a job. I had to use these for that. There. Don't need them. Ideally, if you're going to do an internal radio, you just want a narrow knife, something like a Mora 120 or something thin. That's pretty good. But that's a selection of knives that I've used anyway on this knife. Why use one when you can use 5? So now it's just let this dry and then we'll stroke her up. Give her the cutting test. Okay, back again. Right, just give it a polish up. My hand's a bit dirty. You know, this knife isn't razor sharp, it's plenty sharp enough to cut me, so in sanding I always like to cover the blade. Right, first what we'll do, we'll just polish up the sides a little bit. Now this is my favourite. I do use green rouge, but peak cleaning paste, funny enough. One of my first subscribers, JB, gave me this to test, and it's ended up being my main sharpen ingredient, or main stropping ingredient. It's got aluminum oxide in it. It's got to be, you've got to get the strope into the right condition. Yeah, it's got glue on it now. Right. It's got to be like a shiny black. I've just applied some new stuff. Bloody glue there. Actually, I'll show you that. That's another spalted beech. Heartwood. How different it is. It's only use an abuse knife, but spalted beech is amazingly varied wood. Right. What I'll do, I'm going to just get that black shiny there. That's what I'm after. You know it's cutting when it's doing that. And that's what I'll need in a minute when I finally sharpen this knife, because I'm just working on the bevel now. The side's still not working on the edge really. Careful you don't cut the stroke doing this backwards and forwards. But like I say, I'm not on the edge. I'm just sharpening the top of the bevel. Right. Well, we'll do our first test and we'll show you something. Right, when I was carving with scandi knives, cheap scandi knives at that, my test for edge alignment, once I've been on the stone, well actually on the strobe, I could never get I couldn't get a knife to cut a Rizzler paper on stones. It's always the stroke that I finish off on. So let's have a look how it cuts a Rizzler paper, because like I say, that's the standard I always used to apply to a scandi knife. Not quite there. Just try again, that was a bit awkward. It's not there. Yeah, see, it's tearing at it. It's not quite there. So this is my stropping method to get a blade sharp. I call it shamping and ramping. Now you on there. So raise the knife up. Go along now. I can feel that's clean. There's no marks being left on the paste. So I ramp up a bit more. I'm getting a little bit of streakiness now, so I'm probably on some micro serrations, so I'll stay on that groove, that height, until it slips over nice and clean. Then I know I've erased those micro serrations. Feels about right. Then I'll ramp up again, but get more gentle. Now drag it. Just drag it right across the edge, very gently. But what this does is it removes any burr, and also it's edge polishing basically. And I'll swap over. Feels clean enough. Slightly higher. Yep. See, I've got marks on the stroke. I know that I'm on. I've got small micro serrations, micro chipping, whatever you want to call it. So stay on that level. I'll ramp up again. This paste is still a little bit damp actually, could do with drying a little bit. Go up again. Yeah, I can feel something there. Yeah, I can see it as well. Right, so what I'll do now, steep. I'm just trying to clean the edge basically, get it really clean. There's two things that you need to go through a Rizzler paper cleanly, and that's excellent edge alignment. Well, three things really. A good clean edge. It can't be a toughy edge because it will just grab at the paper and load out the paper and you won't cut across. But the sides need to be right as well. If they're too bulbous, that's it, they will not pass through the Rizzler paper because they'll load up the paper. And that's starting to feel like a really nice clean edge. You can do this on scandi blades as well. Not quite the same as this. You don't ramp up like you do on this. You go, well, I guess you go steep and very light. See the little, I don't know if you can see those marks, but they are the sign of serration, micro chipping, or a burr. No, I reckon that we won't be far off there now. Not sure about the tip. Start there on the belly, see where we are on the tip. Nope, it's a little bit blunt up on the tip. Let's try the rest of it again. Let's have a look. Let's try down the base. Yeah, the base is good. Yeah, that's always a good sign when you can go straight across. Right, so we've just got the tip to do. Let's just have a look. No, it's not really discernible, so that's a good sign. Yeah, it's dragging now. I can feel it, it's sticking, so I've got a burr on this side. Or a slight microchipping. You would think that I was blunting it, dragging it across like I am, but I'm not. I'm only doing it lightly. Basically, I'm sealing the edge with a polish at the same time as removing micro serrations. So I'm also edge polishing. Yeah, it's definitely on this side. I can feel it. Can't really see any marks being left, so it may be there. So let's start at the belly. No, it's still a little bit. Maybe I need to go further down. I'm pressing quite hard now, but I'm not ramped up really steep. Yeah, I would say it's that edge, that side of the blade's good. Now this is much stickier, I can feel it, it's much more holding. That's a sign that I'm on a burr. The edge isn't clean. I can see marks on the paste as well. I'm literally dragging it right across there, and as you can see the angle, it's a bit dark now. If that's done us. There. I'm happy with that. Yeah. Probably a little bit snaggy because it's not really a really steep knockback. Well, let's do paper. Yeah, it's not brilliant on the tips. It's good. Yeah. Still needs a bit of work. Let me show you that knife there. And this is the one I did the carbon. Now this has had a full knockback. So I can stop. Won't stall in the paper. That's a sign of a good clean edge. But it's also the sign that the sides they're graduated in the right way. They're not too bulbous near the edge. Yeah, see. On push cut, I'll just pull the paper and hold the knife. Yeah, won't go round the corner. What if I use a tip? Nope. Nearly. Go back to this one. See, it's nearly there, it's just the tip. Right. A bit more then. To darken it. Oh, I don't know, it's not bad at all. It's probably just, yeah, just there. It's negligible. I'm inclined to think with edge alignment like that, it's actually the sides that are stopping it. It's a little bit bulbous on the sides, but this blade's not going to be used for wood carving. It's just a utility blade, so I'm not going to. I'd have to go back to the home to sort that out. But I'm sure Dr. Dan will be very happy. Still a razor sharp knife. I prefer hard leather. I don't like, you know, like the mouse mat theory or soft leather where it wraps around. I prefer a hard flat surface. Same as Waterstones, I prefer them flat. I know there's a consensus that, you know, you use curved dished Waterstones for convexing, but not with my method. You don't. In fact, I find it a hindrance if the stones are dished. The same as like a mouse mat. I like to control what I'm doing, and if there's too much give in the stroke or anything, then it sort of, it gives me the convex that like a mouse mat. It's always too bulbous a convex for me. It's not sharp enough. I've tried using a mouse mat. It wasn't any good. Right, for utility use, it'll get sharp, but I just find that I didn't have the control that I have over Waterstones over the convex. Right. Final look. Yeah, you can see how clean that goes through the Risley paper. Till it gets to, no. Let's try the tip. Yeah, it's not perfect, but I agree, pretty damn sharp. Probably more used to a piece of paper. This paper's a bit damp, I think. Yeah, we're there. There you go. Happy with that. Ooh, dirt. Bloody. Just can't get the dirt off my hands. There. It's come off. Stay in my hands. Yeah, so anyway, hope you agree that's a world of difference to the knife that I started with. And you know, this is a handmade, all bar the blade, it's a truly hand sharpened, handmade knife really, which is it just goes to show you don't need machines, and that, you know, you can get a blade to a very high standard of sharpness on Waterstones. Obviously convex edge is probably considered to be the best edge, I would say, for, well, I mean, there's always going to be an argument over that. It's whatever you can sharpen, basically, isn't it? If you can sharpen a scandi blade, then and you're happy with that, then that's the best blade, isn't it? But for me, I like convex edges. I don't agree that it's so nice to be able to carve your own handle. It means so much more when you've carved it yourself. It's not, you know, you're not at a noisy belt sander machine. I know it's a lot quicker, but you know, I get real satisfaction from carving a knife yourself. Fit in the sheath. There. That's good enough. Yeah. Fits in there nice Comes out nice. Yeah. Yeah, hope you enjoyed. I'd have liked to have bought you a bit more of the carving, but the battery ran out. So next time I make a knife, I probably won't bother so much with, you know, how to fix the pin in and whatever, the blade, the pin tang in and all that. But I should just concentrate more on the carving. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. Cheers now, see you soon.